emotion, as you see, the samsara, which means a repetitive phenomenon, everything changes here. Nothing is constant. And that is the beauty. Even the emotion has ebbs and tides. And you can see when we had the COVID, in the first case, what was the expression, the emotion? When we have 1 lakh cases and more fear, what is the emotion? So you see the same changes which we face can have different emotional or different phases in an emotional cycle. So with time, as everyone says, time is the best healer. Emotions change with time. For example, look at here. You were happy, you were content, and suddenly there was a change called COVID in our life. We were shocked. It took hours, as you see. We were shocked. We denied it. No, this cannot happen to us. Then we started blaming who gave this COVID to us and how things happened. Angry, want justice and a return to the good old days. We all have this blaming activities. It is natural. It is a part of your emotional cycle. You are not using your intelligence, or it's not a big thing. It's happening within you. It's happening with everyone who has a brain. So, and then you go into severe depression. Within hours, this is happening. With time, you cope up, you bargain. Well, this is not very harmful. I can do this, I can do that. You bargain and you find, and slowly you accept it. And by weeks, this happened. Your acceptance has happened within weeks. And again, once you have accepted, again you go into a stability, achieves desired outcomes, creates a new stability and standard, and moves ahead. The same what we are facing in COVID. Now we have accepted it and we will move ahead with it. Now this is very interesting. Age at which human emotion appears in years. Let's see. As you see, most of the emotions have been developed by 5 years. So we should be very careful, these babies, these children are like monkeys. They ape. Suppose whatever emotion they see in the parents and in their environment, they will first produce those emotions within them. So if you do not want the emotions to be expressed by your child, then see that you have a guarded way of keeping your emotions so that your child does not spread those emotions first. So let us see, by birth, you have excitement and arousal. Then you learn distress, contentment, disgust. By 1 year, almost suspicion, shyness, affection, all this has developed. And by 3 years onwards, so from 3 to 5, the shame, pride, guilt, and contempt have developed. But the basic where I have put these dotted lines is that the mammalian emotion stops here. Your dog, which is a mammal, does not have shame. It does not have pride. It does not have guilt. It does not have contempt. So we as human, we should know that we have a whole platter of unknown emotion, known and unknown emotion, and using our life to bring out those emotions and see within us what stuff we are made of. Is in fact, it will help you to fight with your loneliness. Now, when you have emotions, you have so many ways of expressing it, but the brunt of the emotion is felt by different part of the body. As you see, your emotion is felt. Whatever changes basically is at your brain or your head, your chest, which contains your lungs and heart. You feel it in your arms too, as the Gandiva felt from Arjuna. It is also felt, the brunt is felt at the stomach. The lower gut, even your intestine also feels emotion. So you're eating, not eating, your irritable bowel syndromes. All these are related to your emotions, which are created by you. And last but not the least, the legs also feel your emotion. Just to repeat, where you feel your emotion is head, chest, which includes your heart and lungs, arms, stomach, your lower gut, your legs too. This is very interesting. We must know that if we are not feeling well at these parts, I should look at my emotional level, which I'll be talking about. Now, this is the embodied tool. It is a tool which measures the thermal level of your body and corroborates with the emotions. Now look at this, how you look inside and what's your temperature inside in anger, fear, disgust, and look at yourself all radiant like sun when you're happy. Look at yourself when you're sad, surprised, and neutral. Look at this neutral person. No activities, envy, shame, pride, contempt, depression. Look at yourself when you're depressed, love, and anxiety. So this tool has given us a big roadway to find out, in fact, in which emotional aura you are. Now, coming to the most important book which I've read in my life, The Molecules of Emotion. All of us know, if there is something, if there is some function, there must be a structure. And the structure and function must be correlated in some way. It just cannot, a function cannot happen without a structure. So, and the correlation between the structure and function, there must be an intermediate, I would say, substance, which must be intermediating the structure with the physiological functions. The writer of this book, Dr. Candace Pert, has found out that as a feelings change, this mixture of peptides travel throughout your body and your brain, and there's literally changing the chemistry of every cell in your body. So in fact, every thought makes a chemical which makes us feel happy or sad. We physiologists call it sometimes neurotransmitter, sometimes also it is known as neurohormones. So now the question comes, can we manipulate with these chemicals and change our emotions? Yes, we can do it. So let us know some of the names of these neurotransmitters, what they do for us. So we'll start with dopamine. These are neurotransmitters secreted in different parts of your brain, which I'll be taking another class for it. Dopamine, histamine, you must have taken antihistamines for your allergies, so those histamines, they help you in your cognition. They help you to understand things, and they give you mental alertness. They give you a work memory, clarity, motivation. And if this is not there, there is absence of this. You have used it maximum. You have not balanced yourself. You have worked a lot. You have been mentally alert for a long time. Remember, everything has a half-life. Everything finishes. You must rest again to rejuvenate. And as you know, I'm a sleep consultant. During sleep, you rejuvenate. So you bring back whatever has been used throughout the day, they are created again during sleep. So sleep is a time where all the neurotransmitters you have used throughout the day, again is created, so that you don't have a dearth of all these neurotransmitters. Now we come to norepinephrine, acetylcholine, and they help you in sustained concentration. My children, where you need to study, you have to have enough of norepinephrine, so you must have lot of exercises. You know, these exercises, they increase your norepinephrine. And acetylcholine, will be talking how we can produce by different lifestyle and food habits, all these neurotransmitters, and they help in transition. That is, let go. You can let go everything, otherwise you'll be obsessed. You can recall your memory because of that. Anytime your memory is at your back of your hand, you can recall it. Your perseverance is totally related to these two beautiful neurotransmitters. And the most important, where you feel peaceful, the serotonin and the glutamate, they help in your sensory satisfaction, your trupti. After you eat, you feel something. After you sleep, you feel something. After you pray, you feel something. Your feeling, after you talk wisely, you feel something. You know, they give you satisfaction. The sensory satisfaction is by these two neurotransmitters. They help you in learning memory. your pleasure and pain, and your relaxation. So if you do a cocktail of this, you get so many more emotions. That is, if you do this cocktail of dopamine, histamine with norepinephrine, acetyl, your attention increases. With dopamine and serotonin and this too, your appetite increases. And your norepinephrine, acetylcholine, and serotonin, your intuition increases. And in short, your attention, your appetite, and your intuition gives you your mood, which you are. You always talk. A small child of 2 years also can slap a door in front of you, say, and can say that, well, I'm not in a good mood. And in fact, all this is related to so many neurotransmitters. A good mood is a balance of all these neurotransmitters. So let us see the cocktail of neurotransmitters. So when you are in schizophrenia, if you are having a schizotype of a split personality or cancer brain, your dopamine level is very high. When you're anxious, your dopamine level has decreased. You're very, very happy, your serotonin is increased. When you're depressed, your depression is related to 3 neurotransmitters, your dopamine, your serotonin, and oxytocin. When your dopamine has decreased, your serotonin is still decreased than dopamine, and your oxytocin is negligible. These are neurotransmitters produced in different parts of your brain. And when you are in love, look at the dopamine, look at the serotonin, and look at the oxytocin. This is called balance. This is called, maybe I do not know in spirituality, the Sapachita Ananda Avastha, where all your neurotransmitters, particularly these, they give you bliss, ecstasy, and they give you the purpose and the happiness of being a human. Maybe this is what is all about our spiritual experiences. And look at fight or flight, what happens? You have a lot of norepinephrine and epinephrine. And all of you know adrenaline surge. Many of you are very well read. You must have read about the adrenaline surge, which when you are in fight or flight. So now we talk about emotional well-being. From trauma. So you have to, your trauma should give you a lecture that you learn from it. Openness to emotional experience, you cannot be shut to it. You should be wide enough, udara enough to accept things. Clear values and strong character. Low level of defensiveness, optimism, self-esteem, self-realization, playing to one's strength, passionate engagement, meaning and purpose in life, positive and long-lasting relationship. This is a very matured statement in emotional well-being. When you have long relationships, that shows you've got proper emotional environment, and mastery and competence. Now, all of us have heard about the IQ and the EQ. This is intelligence quotient and emotional quotient. When you add them, you are a successful person. And the most important difference is that this can be improved. Whatever you are born with, your emotional quotient, which has these 5 components, that is self-awareness, empathy, motivation, self-regulation, social skills. These are part of your emotion. This can be improved by great gurus. They improve all this so that we can have success. Just to show you, those who have low emotional intelligence, they're aggressive. They are neat, demanding, egoistic, bossy, confrontational, easily distracted, selfish, poor listeners, impulsive, resistance to change, passive, unresponsive, slow, stubborn, critical, picky, fussy, hard to please. And so these are the part of low emotional intelligence. And high, ambitious, strong-willed, decisive, warm, enthusiastic, charming, and they're very patient, stable. As you see, all good adjective. Maybe the 16 kala of Krishna, he had a wonderful, this emotional quotient, that is high emotional intelligence. Now, as my topic is on emotional storm, if at all these neurotransmitters are totally, they have gone mad, and they're in random, they don't have a system, they're not systematic, what you are going to face, you call it stress, you don't know what it is. That is, you're angry, you are fear, feeling stuck, resentment, depression, jealousy. These are your emotional storms. So when you're feeling this, please just take a chill pill. Breathe for a while and first diagnose yourself. Yes, emotional storm has started. The cyclone has started. And if you don't stop it for a long time, if it goes on and goes on, you will have ulcers. Digestive issues, as I've told you, where the emotion strikes, headaches, migraines, and rheumatoid arthritis, all your autoimmune disorders, your panic attacks, your heart palpitation, and fibromyalgia, pain throughout your body for no reason. You'll have pain. And everything is related to those neurotransmitters. So, again, it has been written in Gita, emotional storm can ruin us. Look at this beautiful 2 verses. We'll read in, whoever reads in whichever, if you're comfortable in Sanskrit, read it, but I will be here. So how this emotion starts? Pondering over objects. One gets attached to them. So first emotion is attachment when you are related to an object. Attachment breeds desire. From desire, anger is born. Anger leads to delusion. From delusion, memory gets clouded. From clouding of memory, the intellect gets destroyed. When the intellect goes, one is ruined. So dilapidated condition of emotion is related to, as you see, the first is getting attached unnecessarily to an object. When you want to possess an object. So how well emotional storm had been so well written in our scriptures. So now we come to the second part of the lecture, that is emotional storm and immunity. Well, the immune and the emotional system, they mirror each other. As you see, emotional and immunological system are dynamic and continuously changing to adjust to the ever-changing external environment. You see, whatever we are, I have told you many a times, the samsara means the changing, the repetitive and the changing phenomenon always around us. That is called samsara. It's repetitive and changing. Gati Shila, which has a gati. To face that system, to face that environment, you have 2 systems, emotion and immunology. Emotion to face outside and immunology to face inside. And in fact, each of us, each living being, we are at war. War from outside, war inside. Our immunity system is always fighting and emotional system is always fighting. And war is not bad. War is, in fact, the highest activity. It is, if you like it or you don't like it, it is happening with you, with everyone. Respect it. Everyone is at war, with outside and with inside. So Krishna has said, if you don't fight for what you want, then don't cry for what you lost. You have to fight. For happiness, you must fight to get back all those neurotransmitters. If you are depressed, you must fight to come back to your balance. If you don't fight for what you want, then don't cry for what you lost. Now coming to what is immunity, I had taken the earlier class just to remind you, the fight against any invaders, resistance to a disease-causing organism or harmful substance is called immunity. You have 2 types of immunity, active immunity and passive immunity. Classification, not very interesting, but it's very knowledgeable. You can increase your knowledge. You are given certain immunity by birth that is known as innate. And slowly as you are exposed to organisms, you slowly acquire many immunity. You're innate or at birth, by default, all those immunity which you have been given by your mother, that's specific and non-specific. And that which you are adaptive, and if you have acquired, that can be passive from the mother through the placenta. by using artificial immunoglobulins, and active when there is an infection. If you are infected, naturally immunity happens. Suppose we are infected by COVID virus, then only our natural immunity will be started. Or if we need a vaccination, we can use a vaccination for active immunity, which is a part of acquired immunity. And always, you for every function I told you there is a structure. And the structure for these functions are little cells which you never see them. They're working for you day and night, keeping you safe. They are your neutrophil, your natural killer cells, your dendritic cell and monocyte. And in innate immunity, these cells take part. And in adaptive immunity, you have T cells, that is and the B cells. I will not go into detail of this and bore you, but I want to tell you that while they fight with these antigens, these viruses, they produce many cytokines. These chemicals which they produce, the cells produce, are called cytokines. The neurons produce are called neurotransmitters. As you see here, this is a very recent diagram which tells us the classical view and the newer view. These cytokines mediate these T cells or the immunity helping cells. But we did not know that the neurotransmitters of the brain are also mediating these regulation of the immune cells. Earlier it was said that these cells mediate the immunity cells. But now it is said that neurotransmitters which is secreted at the brain, which we have been talking about, the brain or the psychology, the emotion, which secretes many type of neurotransmitters, they also have they also rule these T cells, the immune cells. And look at this. Earlier we thought that these neurotransmitter which is produced by the brain, they only work on the neurons. But no, these neurons are also not only mediated by neurotransmitters, these neurons are also mediated by the cytokine which are produced from the immunity cells. The cells which take part in immunity, the T cells. So what I want to tell you is that your emotion is shaping your immunity. Your immunity is shaping your emotions and your nervous system. Don't take it lightly. Think about it. Contemplate on it. So don't use your emotions. For example, if you're angry, it suppresses your immunity for 5 hours. So your chance of getting infection within those 5 hours is quite high. But you're depressed. So be careful. When there's an emotional storm and you diagnose it, be careful that you are going to harm these little cells. As a result of which they will be unable to fight the organisms which is always present around us, So, as you see how the immune system works before stress, if you have no stress, if it is a bacterial infection, your B lymphocyte is going to eat it. If it is a cancerous cell or a virus, your T lymphocyte is going to eat up if you don't have stress. If you have stress, these are not going to function at all. They're not going to do their work. Is it some other harmful intruder or perhaps a worn-out cell needing to be cleaned up? If you want, there should be more cleaning, then the macrophages are going to take that, clean it up. And are there disease cells such as those of infected virus of cancer? They need to be cleared out. Your natural killer cells are going to clean it. What is this? This shows that when you are comfortable with yourself, your neurotransmitter balance, no emotional storm, no chemical loach, as fondly said, all your immune cells are working and keeping you safe. If you are stressed, when there is emotional storm, you are angry, you are afraid, whatever, your depression, these little cells are not going to work for you, and they're not going to save you from the external intruders. So as you see, emotional and immunity, they have to be balanced. This is the basal state. Emotional response, immune response, they're balanced. If there is an immune or emotional challenge, equally they should increase. Emotional response and immune response should be increase equally. But in emotional disorder, what happens? Emotional response decreases, immune response increases, as a result of which your rheumatoid arthritis, autoimmune disorders take part. And when there is again a challenge of immune or emotional challenge, and immune response decreases and emotional response increases, then you face so many expression. You express it as fear, panic, anorexia, depression, stress, paranoia, in fact, so many mental disorders, anxiety, hysteria, bipolar disorder. But for changes, your emotional changes is quite high if you face this. And if your immune changes is quite high, you face autoimmune disorders like systemic lupus erythematosus, which damages joints, skin, kidneys, and so many parts. Your rheumatoid arthritis, most after 40s, particularly ladies, they have worked hard in their life in Grihastha. They, in fact, worked the hardest in the Grihastha, giving birth and taking care, being the dustbin of the family. So the mental and the immunological system is quite aggravated, and they have this immune system attack, and so many other autoimmune disorders related to your challenges. So this is, in fact, my last slide. As you see, if you are diseased, say upper respiratory infection, coronary heart diseases, or cancer, it's due to immune mediators, and that is connected to your emotion. So your depression, your anger and anxiety, stress, it is related to the morbidity and mortality. Your death and your quality of life is related to your emotion. And between your health and disease stands two things: the immune mediators, which are trying to negotiate so that you don't fall sick. This is inside which is happening, and this can be an add-on, like you take a sauce in these KFC. These are add-ons which will help for easy rejuvenation. Along with the immune mediators, if you add on these things like your diet, you decrease your alcohol, you learn these mediators and the exercise and activities, and which I'll be talking about these mediators in my next webinar. I'll be talking much about this, because if you do this add-on along with this immune mediators, this morbidity and mortality will decrease in bounds and leaps. We will be infected, but we will become healthy soon. So, this is my last slide. This flower, which is called the brain, the lotus, in fact rules the body, and the body rules this brain. So they have to be in balance. Your mind and body to be balanced so that you can face this universe, this beautiful earth, in a very, very human way. And human being, with this wonderful structure of being a human, is only if you can enjoy all the emotions, being not attached to these emotions. Enjoy the emotions, not being attached to it, not brooding upon it. Just feel how it feels to be human through these emotions. Thank you so much. And this is greetings from where I work, that is Vimaboy Medical College and Hospital in the Department of Physiology. Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam, for your great talk on this. This is Anil from Mekon Valley. Ma'am, shall we allow them to ping their questions?
Yes, please.
Guys, if you have any question, please be in mute. Please ping me in the chat so I'll read it out. And please mention your name and the location. Okay? Please mute yourself. And please ping the question in the chat. So I already pinged back there. And please mention your name and location if you have any query on something.
You.
How are EQ and consciousness are connected?
See, emotion, as I've said you, I've told, emotion is made from the chemicals, the neurotransmitters. And what is consciousness? When the whole cortex is activated. So in fact, your emotions activate your cortex. So whenever your cortex is activated, then only you are conscious. What was the question?
The question was how EQ is related to consciousness. I think that you have already spoken, or you are continuing?
I've already spoken that, what is consciousness? When your cortex is activated. And when cortex, how does the cortex get activated? By neurons, through neurotransmitters. So emotions, they are made up of neurotransmitters. And they activate your consciousness. They activate your cortex. It's conscious.
Okay, ma'am. So the next question is, it is the Soma. He is from New Jersey, USA. Okay, he is just requesting something here that upload the recording in the YouTube and share the link back. Okay, we'll do that, Soma. We will do it, and we have a planning for that. So he's telling we can revisit on it and the key facts one more time.
Yes.
Soma will do that.
We'll do it.
Achha.
We'll do it.
Yeah. One more person is from Hyderabad, Ashwarya. Which is the most efficient and easy to maintain habit that must be practiced to create a right balance of the neurotransmitters?
To keep a right balance of these neurotransmitters, you should be very careful. What are the things which is entering your senses? Indriya. The accountability of the Indriya is very important, like what is entering through your eyes, what is entering through your ears, what is entering through your smell, and what is entering through your... So the more you are conscious about your Indriyas and what is entering inside them, then you will see that slowly, you have a better balance and a long time balance with your neurotransmitters. And I always tell you, neurotransmitters also have half-life. If you take a lot of information, your neurotransmitters are also depleted. So if you know how to use your five senses, these senses are the secret of a balance emotion and balance neurotransmitter.
Next question, ma'am, is from Madhura from Bangalore. When you become aware that emotion storm is coming, then how to stop it? And what action should be taken?
That's what we are planning to take another class for, because it's a beautiful class which we'll be doing it after this. Now that you know the emotions are nothing, it does not belong to you. It is basically a chemical reaction. Don't get attached to it. Don't identify yourself with your emotion. First, this is just a chemical reaction between the external environment and the internal environment, and it is not you. Once you know that I am not the emotion, it's just a chemical reaction, The first part is done. The second part is how it has its own time. Anger will take its own time. Fear will take its own time, and there is a half-life for all this. And as I've told you, there are many mediators. Once you have those in your lifestyle, they help you to bring the activity period of these emotions to a shorter period. That I'll be taking in my the next class, how to design your own emotions.
There is one more person from Bangalore. His name is Rachita.
Hey, Rachita, my sister.
Oh, yeah. Are we a prisoner of our emotions? Are we helpless in front of our feelings? How to fight the emotion storm of disappointment and or fear or anger?
So as you see, whatever emotions you have talked about, it is basically you belong to the primary, it contains, your basket of emotion contains something from the primary emotion, that is reptilian emotions, lower grade emotions, and even you have something called disappointment, or that is a secondary emotions. So you contain the whole basket of emotion. You are not the prisoner of anything as long as you have knowledge about it. You are a prisoner if you don't know about it. Suppose you know you are angry. This is not the first time you are getting angry. And anger has its effect on your heart, your breathing, and in your body. So anger has effect on your heart rate and breathing. So when you get angry, your breathing changes, your heart rate changes. So if I change my breathing, can I change my anger? If they are connected, if one has gone up and one has come down, if I make the other part up, definitely the anger will come down. So you know your bodily changes if it can be controlled, and the most important bodily changes which is under your control and not under your control is respiration. So that is why everyone says work on your respiration and you work on your emotion. If the emotion is the kite, your breathing is the thread. So the breathing always, if you decrease, there are varieties of breathing for varieties of emotions, which we'll be talking in our mediating classes next. But remember, not to be a part of, not to be, jailed or caged by emotion, you must know you have one little idea or a little knowledge of how to connect your breathing with that of emotion. Just decrease your breath and you see the emotion slowly vanishes. It is after all made up of neurotransmitters.
The next question is Dave is asking, how do you reconcile past memories, emotional outburst to fight depression and anxiety?
So there are many components to this question. So just repeat the question.
He's asking, how do you reconcile past memories?
So he is using reconcile, past memory, then
Emotional outburst.
So reconcile, past memory, emotional outburst, yes.
To fight depression and anxiety.
Fight depression. See here, the 6 components of sturdy and old circuits which has been rooted in the brain. These are old circuits, and if you repeat it, it becomes stronger and stronger. So if there is a past, lot of past, if you brood a lot, you go into the past very much. So you create a road which is very I would say concrete. Visiting past is always creating problem for yourself. It's a habit of visiting past. One has to create a sense that yes, I'm not going to visit my past. You have to stop somewhere. If you stop your past, you will see that slowly, all these things which is related to your past will vanish. This is a habit. The way you play your violin, the way you play your piano, the same way you play with yourself. That in the 3 things, the past, present, and future, I will not walk into my past. You have to take this choice consciously.
Next question is Sudatta from Bangalore. He has a question that is there any link between your physical activities and your emotions?
Oh, the whole thing, though, I told you the emotion and body is totally linked. Your total physiology is linked, and physiology, in fact, creates your behavior, and your body, everything is related to that. So your mind and body are totally linked.
Okay. The next question is, I may be sound wrong, Mrignakshi.
Mrigakshi. Hi, Mrigakshi.
Say namaskar and wish to contemplate on intuitive abilities and how to develop our intuition.
So as I've told you, intuitive ability needs a specific neurotransmitter. It needs a specific neurotransmitter. Intuitive ability, if you have seen Mrigakshi, it needs basically to develop intuitive, you should have a lot of norepinephrine, acetylcholine, serotonin, and glutamate. And that's what I'm going to talk in my next topic, how to create all these neurotransmitters at your will, at your sweet will. So once we do that, I think you will learn how to be intuitive.
One more question from Aishwarya. How can we channelize you mean hot feelings? That means he's telling about the bad feelings. How can I channelize the bad feelings into more productive energy? And can holding things for too long also lead to a immunity depletion over time?
The immunity is related to your primary and secondary emotions, as I have told you. And how to channelize, you have to believe in, you must have seen rivers. You must have seen liquid. It flows and it let goes. And it takes the minimum, it takes the lowest, I would say, it takes the lowest strata. It never goes up, which is the lowest, it goes there. So sometimes we have to, as we are made up of 70% of water, as I have always taught in my classes, we contain a lot of liquidity in us. So we must flow. We must flow and let go like liquid, like water, like river. So that as we go on doing this, we become slowly more directed, more pinpointed, and more towards a greater source called ocean. If we don't let go, if we get stuck, we only create a lot of mosquitoes and insects. You have seen those stagnant water. If you don't want to be a stagnant water, don't brood on your past. Let go. Just let go.
Okay, so next question is Chetana Upadhyay. Guys, please mention your location also. If one's EQ is higher, can one still suffer from mental disorder?
No, not possible. Not possible. If you have good self-awareness, you have empathy, you have motivation, you have self-regulation, you have got social skills, then where can you be as mentally disordered?
Okay.
Unless you have structural and there is structural brain problems. These are functional part. If the functional part is okay, that shows your structure is quite okay. If structural part is okay, that goes wrong with structural part, then it can lead to a deranged function.
Okay, so we have 2 minutes. Okay. Now, next question is Sonali Parida.
Yes.
How do we control the after effects when we are lonely with ourselves? Effects of any disturbed situation faced in a day-to-day life. Please let us know.
So Nali, this is a very good question. Lonely. So the whole, as I've told you, as we grow up, we discover many things. And the most important thing we discover is the first thing we discover, we are lonely. We are all loners in this planet. I always call it bathroom syndrome. You're as lonely as you're in bathroom, in your own bathroom. You have to shut down and you have to be there. This is the beginning. And this is the beginning for success, when you know that, yes, you have to do everything. The journey from lonely to aloneness. When slowly you learn that the success of being lonely, when you try experimenting with yourself, the way Gandhiji experimented with truth, you should experiment with yourself. And without much effect on you. It should be exactly like a laboratory experiment. If you can do this, you will see that your loneliness will slowly turn to aloneness, and you will have good documentation of your experiences, and that matters a lot.
Okay. The next person is Pallavi Pangarkar. Pallavi is from Bangalore. How does meditation help in increasing EQ?
Oh, that's a mediator. I told you, in between bhoga and roga, there lies the yoga. So that which protects you from the bhoga, when you are using lot of indriya, you're taking lot of information, you're in bhoga. And that definitely will lead to roga if you do not have yoga in between bhoga and roga. So that is my topic. The next topic, I think Akon Valley will be kind enough to host that, which would be in fact the practical part and in continuation of this webinar.
Okay, so he has the following question actually. How to make consciousness effort to control our emotions, cutting on emotional outburst? I think it will follow in the next.
See, this class will help you, first of all, realizing that whatever your emotion, it is by those non-living chemicals. Once you realize that you are becoming a puppet in the hand of chemicals, first of all, you will not fool yourself. You'll be quite, knowledge. Once you have certain knowledge within you, that changes your outlook towards everything. So let us see, after going through the classes, after going through this class, what you feel when you are having emotional outbursts, and let us know also.
Ma'am, is it okay? We'll take 1-2 questions.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, somebody is requesting us to upload your videos in YouTube. We'll do that, Rachita.
Okay.
And Mansoor from Ottawa. Okay. Excessive work leads to a stress and eventually leads to a procrastination, which again mounts to more stress. How do we overcome this?
You have already diagnosed two things, Mansoor, that you are overworked and you are procrastinating. You are not able to start up. First of all, the sky is not going to fall. You must have certain taglines to fool your emotion. And one of my favorite tagline to fool my emotion when I think I have a lot of work is that the sky is not going to fall if I don't work. With this, you will see, once everything is clouded, the way when the sky is clouded, you can't see the sun. If you're clouded with such type of I have a lot of work, what should I do and all that, you're already clouded, you cannot see. So how will you work? How will you start? So you have to procrastinate. So whenever you have many emotions at one time, just have a tagline, the way Three Idiot had, all is well. The same way you must have a tagline in your life, the sky is not going to fall if I don't work. Once that cloud goes away, you will see step by step what you are supposed to do. And so that overwork will not lead to procrastination, it will give you a good sleep.
Next question.
Thank you.
How to control our primary emotional pathway? And it was been asked by Dr. Nirupama Devi. BBMCH Bolange.
Niru madam, she's the professor of biochemistry. She's testing my knowledge. Well, you see. So what was the
No, is it by the secondary pathway or not?
No, it is not by the secondary pathway. As you see, you have two pathways. The primary pathway is through the thalamus and limbic system, and the second pathway is limbic system with the cortex. But the basic is the sensory input. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever goes to the primary emotion or secondary emotion is through the sensory input, which I say indriya, 5 senses. So if you can regulate the sensory input, which I'll be talking about the concept of Ganesha, I'll be talking about the Vigna Vinashaka concept, how the sensory input can be modified so there can be no Vigna in your emotions. We'll be talking in the next class. But the basic of this primary emotion is your sensory.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Niru.
Okay. We have one more question here. The following question of Pallavi, that if the past is linked with a loss of loved one, how to face it?
It has been said that there is a depression scale. The highest depression scale, when you lose your loved one, you are highly depressed. It is 100%. And with time, it should heal. And minimum healing time is 6 months. If you are remaining beyond 6 months, it shows that your neurotransmitter has not been replenished and you are always visiting your past. Many of us have a habit of visiting past. And that is the biggest I would say, ignorance and biggest lack of observation, which shows that our eyes are always in the front, to look front. Any type of brooding, it shows that you are enjoying it. The way the dog, when a dog eats a bone, after some time, it has no meat on it. It goes on eating till it hurts its teeth. And the bone is no more, but because it has hurt its teeth by the bone, the blood is coming out, and it starts enjoying its own blood, and it thinks, and the dog thinks that it is coming from the same bone. So when we brood, it's the same thing. The way the dog enjoyed from its own blood, thinking that it is coming from the bone, the same way. We get a little bit of, I would say, a lot of pleasure in brooding on that. Rather, if that can be transformed into a poetry, into a success, into an institution, if a brooding, if you're losing your loved ones can make you a better person, then slowly you will enjoy this emotion, and you will see that because of your past, because of your loss, there is a lot of gain in you and for the society and for the universe.
Okay, ma'am. The next question is from Sanjeev Satwati.
Hey, Sanjeev, my little brother, a great physiologist.
Okay. He's from SLN Medical College, Kolhapur.
Yes, Dr. Arpita.
Can an impaired immunity be reversed by changing an emotion?
Hopefully, yes. There are many data, many research which is proving that even AIDS, the CD4 and CD8 proportion in AIDS, it has been changed by so many feedback mechanism, which we'll be talking. Many people call this spirituality, many people call it alternative medicine, but definitely lifestyle management and proper knowledge, right knowledge has helped many type of things, many type of diseases, immunologically activated diseases, to be calmed down.
Okay, so there is one more, the linked question with the previous one, Chetna. Chetna is from Delhi. Delhi is asking.
Hi, Chetna, so nice to be connected with you. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you so much.
So clarification that adding to my previous question, what do you mean of having structural problem?
Structural problem, anatomical problems. Suppose you have a problem in the thalamus, the blood supply is not going to the thalamus. You have a neuronal, there's a cancer or there's a tumor in your brain. So these are structural problems that can definitely have effect on the functional part.
One more question is from Dave. How to control emotion vulnerability when we are faced with it?
See, as I've told you, it is only the right knowledge which will help you. And as you see, Arjuna faced the same emotional storm, same emotional problems, and how Krishna took 18 chapters, 700 verses. So right words, right guru or right words at that time will help you. Always remember, our mind is made up of words. So all these grotesque things in our mind is because of wrongly put words in wrong spaces. With the grace of you yourself on you, you have to grace and bless yourself so that right words make sentences and way into your brain, in your mind. So once it is made, right neurotransmitters will come. To tell you in short, even Gandhi has said, Gandhiji has also said, when you are in trouble, when no path is waiting for you, there's no alternative path, then read Bhagavad Gita, particularly the Sankhya Yoga, which teaches us management of mind. Right words give you a right mind. And you have to look for right word, and the owner of all the words are Ma Saraswati. Saraswati, as you see, the word Saraswati means Sarasa Shrota. What is Sarasa Shrota? Easy way of living. And if you are comfortable with words, right words at the right time, you will see that you will have Ma Saraswati in your life will become easy.
I think with this Saraswati explanation, we are done with our questions. So I think people have
so
few more
happy.
questions.
No.
So what we request you to people, I'm just sending a feedback form, so that will help you to get more speculation on that and what you are looking for exactly, which topic you required in future. You can give your suggestion, how you liked it, what are the things you need to be done for the improvement. So you just give a feedback to us. We will do that. I mean, also send you some links which will connect to a WhatsApp group. In future, when we want to do something, we can send you a in our updates through that WhatsApp, so we can join that also. We are planning for that because it is very difficult for us to reach out everybody again. So we will planning for the WhatsApp group from Econ Valley, and we can join that thing also. When you fill up the form, you can get that link as well. So that's it. We can wind up with this. Ma'am, if you want to say some last words.
Last word is that it was really great. May Ma Saraswati protect us with right knowledge. May we develop ourselves by enthusiasm to learn more, to explore more, and not to be totally guided or totally ruled by such neurochemicals which creates emotions. Emotions are nothing but clouds in bright sky. We are much brighter than that. We should know they're just clouds, they will pass away. And thank you so much for everything. And I really thank Econ Valley for hosting this program. And thank you so much, Anil, for all this you have done for us. Thank you so much for connecting us.
For complete videos on training, visit www.econvalley.com.